You're right that that's certainly a uniqueness to healthcare. I've seen a lot of organizations when they've had success working with physician groups, define shared goals, the whole question of what's in it for me. And I think a lot of the success stories of physician groups making changes in their own process, even in a clinical level, it wasn't forced or pushed. That I've seen a lot of organizations have done work to try to use lean to provide better support to the physicians, to create positive impressions that, okay, well, because I'm getting better support, rooms are ready, case carts are always built properly, the patient's ready with the orders, that they have positive impressions of lean, and then maybe now you're leading them towards water, to where they might have that spark of, well, how would this apply to our own work? And so I always fall back on something that Toyota people would teach you about leading in an organization, even where everyone is an employee, and you have that hammer of authority. They would always say, lead as if you have no authority. That doesn't mean you've abdicated the authority and that you've given away, but it's a well you want to go to as rarely as possible. So here in healthcare, you have a classic case of, well, you don't have the authority, and I think that's where the Toyota leadership model can be useful in that setting. It doesn't mean it's easy, but I find that inspiration.
I actually view it as somewhat of an advantage, in that in industrial settings, our culture has always been to, hey, do it this way or else. And that's been our first battle of resource. In a healthcare setting, everybody's conditioned to absolutely not do that, because leading physicians can actually shut your business down in some cases. So we're already conditioned to, well, we have to convince them that it's actually better to do these things. So it sort of forces a more lean model. It sort of forces a more lean approach to the management process anyway. And at the end of the day, there's lots of physicians that are working many more hours than they want to work, especially in primary care, especially in senior practices. And if you can show them that you can improve work-life balance, make their patients happy, improve quality, why wouldn't you do this? At the end of the day, it has to be a better value proposition.
Real quick, let's just share an example. I visited a hospital 2 weeks ago outside of Toronto, and they've made a number of process improvements in the emergency department. So patient waiting times are far lower, left without being seen is way down. But the chief of emergency was one of the leaders of the effort. So to have strong physician leadership from the get-go was important. But it wasn't heavy-handed, thou shalt change in a prescriptive way. The physicians figured out, instead of working 2 12-hour shifts where everyone came in and left at the same time, they realized it would be best if they came in at kind of a staggered approach where there was always a fresh doctor there every 3 hours, and that they would assign new patients accordingly. And the doctors made all sorts of changes to their work schedules, to their clinical processes, of standardized ways of evaluating potential H1N1 patients. They made all of these changes because, like Joe was saying, now they're going home on time, which they're thrilled about, and they're seeing more patients, which even in Canada, that means they get paid more because of the volume compared to the hospital itself, which is a different wrinkle. But there was a case where it was clearly aligned of doing the right thing for the patients, and it happened to be making their work life better, and they were making more money. It was kind of hard to argue with once they did their experiments.